And we are back. We just finished up not one but two songs. Uncle Charlie, good time, right? And then we start off with my boy LL. Hush. Anybody who's been watching me for a moment, you know that LL Cool J is mine. And we talked about those six packs. I said, as he get older, those six packs they get bigger. They don't shrink. They're not shrinking. It's just like whoop.
So it's a line in the song he says, when his six packs is faded, raps is outdated.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no six packs ain't faded.
Your six packs have not faded, and your raps are not outdated. Go ahead, LL. Ooh, bop, let me. Good time. We're having a good time here on L's Love Day, and we're talking about some relationship factors, things that guide our relationships. And the last segment we were talking about respect. And when we took our little break, we had a couple of comments, so Brianna can read those comments, and then we can answer those. We can comment on those.
So Chris said that is something you basically should establish in the beginning of the relationship.
What should you establish at the beginning of the relationship?
So just like the respect factor,
okay.
And you should be open to having complete, honest dialogue with the person you're in a relationship with. And that as you are in a relationship, you're supposed to grow together. And if you have that complete, honest dialogue, you'll grow together and instead of growing apart.
Now, right there, I remember talking about, when you first get together, and I remember the story about Will and Jada when she told the story about how her and Will got together, and how he just kind of like she was kind of like going off with him or whatever. They were around a bunch of other people, right? So I guess he took some rolled up newspaper, tapped her in the head, and they went to behind and they talked about how they wanted their relationship to be. Now, I get Will said, okay, I don't want you clowning me, when we out in public. I understand that.
No, the first issue
but,
is you tapped me on the head with a newspaper.
Well, yeah, we should have been fighting based on that. Right, because that's like you treat me like I'm a dog, and you tap me so.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
When the dog come, I'm going to put this on live. The dog come and they do this.
Exactly. And so at that point, I would have been a little irritated anyway. But then she talked about how they were talking about how to respect each other and how to move forward in their relationship. Well, what I gathered from her thing is that Will pretty much set the terms for how they were going to function in their relationship. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, okay, whatever. Anyway, so they talked about how they I think Will pretty much set the tone in their relationship. So I don't, and then all these years, it's pretty much it's been pretty much running the way he wanted. So to me, she changed herself to accommodate him. So my issue was, where was the respect there?
And then here it is. They've been like 20 plus years later. And now she's like, I think she's starting to find her voice. And so we have to see if they'll grow, like maybe grow back together or if they'll like grow apart. Because they might be growing apart slightly.
Well, remember they said they were separated even though they were still in the same house. They didn't talk to each other. They didn't do anything with each other. They just stayed separated. So that's why I said, that is one word, but it is a huge word when it comes to relationships. I think when it comes to not just relationships, I think that comes like in every avenue of your life. People have to respect each other. That's why we having like a lot of the killings and the murders that we're having is because even when a police officer walk up to a car, you're being disrespectful to that person. You don't even know that person, but then there's like that lack of humanity, that lack of respect there. So that is an important word. Then you had another question, so go ahead with that.
And then Shabazz at the end, he said, how do you deal with somebody who is an introverted or a closed-minded person? So
someone who really just don't speak. Somebody who's introvert, who don't really express their feelings.
That they're very closed-minded. They're not open-minded to certain things.
Wow, I don't even know. I don't want to deal with somebody like that because that's a lot of work. I'm gonna be honest. If you're not open to certain things, I don't want to deal with that.
You have to fight to get like their certain feelings out.
Yeah.
You have to try to get them to see certain things. That's like a struggle every day in a relationship.
And do you want to deal with that every day? if I know something is bothering that person, and you can't communicate and can't verbalize with me, do I want to deal with that every day? Honestly, do I love you enough to want to deal with that every day?
Honestly, me, no. I'm not even gonna lie and say no.
I'm gonna be honest.
Because I have to get something out of you. If I'm expressing this to you, and I have like emotion with it, and all I get from you is like a blank stare.
See, I have to be honest. I said because my late husband was a lot like that. He was more like sometimes like an introvert. So when something pissed him off, he really wouldn't talk about it, and he would just stay really quiet, and it would irritate the crap out of me. It would be because I know something was wrong, but you just so like that you could not express until maybe it maybe like 5 or 6 hours later, or maybe even like a day later, and then it's like, and then I'm like, what? You talking about something that happened 2 days ago?
Well, he would express it to me very loudly. He would express a lot to me, but no, I would see that because he would. And you would know something.
And you know something's wrong, but he won't say anything.
I would talk to him, and he would be like real short, and I'm like, hey, hi. And I'm like, what's wrong?
And that was a cue for me when you said, or you just kind of grunted. I was like, oh hell, we're not even having no conversation right about now.
I was like, what's wrong with you?
Nothing.
I'm like, you sure? I'm fine. Bye.
Right, exactly. I knew sometimes like if I had to get you from work or you got in the car with them and I said, oh Lord, we got attitude today. So I know for me, in future relationships, that's not something that I'm dealing with.
That wasn't necessarily introvert. He had an attitude problem too.
No, because he was an introvert because he was always like that. From the moment I met him, he was always like that. And as you with somebody over the years, it just becomes a little more enhanced, over the years. But he was always like that. So that's why I'm saying, I know, that's not something that I know that I don't want in any other relationships, because you need to be able to talk to me. You need to be able to at least communicate and say, can you give me a few minutes? And then we can talk about it. But if you can't even say that to me, all that's going to do is put me in a bad mood. And when I get in a bad mood, all bets are off.
We understand then, and then we don't like to talk to you when you're in your bad mood.
But here's what I do. I'll let you know when I'm in a bad mood. I'm like, don't talk to me right now.
No.
Yes, I do.
You say that, but some people don't get the hint. Because, see, I understand. When I come in and I get like that short high, leave her alone. Not going to say nothing. Because she in her feelings. Y'all know Drake's song, she in her feelings. So I'm going to leave her alone.
Go to hell, Brianna. How about, I told her to go to hell. How about that?
That's disrespectful. Don't do that.
And so we answered those 2 questions. So here's my next question. Since y'all know, there are all types of love. What kind of other love besides the romantic love is there?
Puppy love.
No.
I'm talking about for the young ones that are like, I love him. Dad, you ain't in love. That's puppy love.
You can't tell anybody they're not in love when they 14, 15 years old. We know it's puppy love, but they think it's real love. So you cannot tell somebody that you don't really know. That is the worst thing to ever tell a teenager.
Well, 14, 15, they kind of already know what it is. So, and
how you figure?
Because you got the high school sweethearts. That's what I was gonna say.
But it's still puppy love though. It's still puppy love though. Now that love will grow if you stay together.
Wait, Chris said, hell, you don't. Women to get in a bad mood, period. I think he said women always in a bad mood, period.
Now, Chris, that's not always true.
No, you have some women that, I'm going to just put this out here, and this for Chris. I understand what he's saying. You have some women that you walk past and they got a rusted bitch face like it ain't nothing. And then you say hi to them, and they look at you like you didn't spit on them because they on fire.
Now I'm going to take this a little further.
I have walked past women, and they so mad all the time. You see the steam coming off their head.
But, okay, so let me ask that. Is that more of a black woman thing, or is that all woman thing that women are mad like? Because we hear that a lot, that black women are angry.
That's women in general.
No, I think that's women in general.
Some women, I ain't gonna say all.
I'm not, like he said, I'm not gonna say all, but a good portion you see, you walk past them, and they got the scowl on your face. I'm like, damn, who pissed you off today? And I go saying that because sometimes it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. How you ain't mad at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Well, something. It could have been a lot of things that had gone wrong from the time you woke up to 8 o'clock in the morning. From 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, lots of stuff could have gone wrong.
No, that is just somebody had that face, and they just like, woo.
Okay, so then there's also the platonic love.
The friend love.
The friend love. So describe that to me. And I guess that's, if you're your friend, you have your friends or whatever.
You don't understand. So, okay.
No, you have your friend and you can love your friend. So that's a platonic relationship.
That's called friend zone.
Yeah. So I'm gonna break this down.
She's gonna break this down.
I'll break this down. When there's, he said she give him a Snickers. Oh my God.
Is that Chris?
No, that's Shabazz saying give him a Snickers. But anyway, so I always feel like to have a healthy relationship, there should always be a foundation.
Okay, don't go there yet because we're gonna go back there and go to that after I break. But you gotta stick to what I said, the platonic.
Okay, the platonic love. That was me when I first met him. We were friends first.
Which is always a good thing.
And then, like, as your friends, it grows and it evolves and all that. So that's where platonic love, I'm like, I'll tell you, I don't have a lot of female friends. But it's just, you have love for your friends. It's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I think you should absolutely have love for your friends. That's where that platonic part comes in at.
Wait.
Oh, Lord.
Chris said, not all women, but the ones who got their whole ass attitude on their shoulders.
Yeah, and those are the ones that make you put you in a bad mood. The ones who got their attitude literally on their shoulder. You're like, okay, if you about to be a bitch, I'm about to be a bigger bitch. That's just how it is.
So yeah, I get the platonic love.
And then of course I know we gotta go to break. And then there's that familial love, that family love. And sometimes you can love your family, but you don't like them, and you like, I can't deal with you on a regular basis.
You don't like a lot of them. That's all.
Yeah. I can love you, but but that familial love, it never goes away.
It never goes away.
It's always gonna be there, especially when your back is up against the wall.
But there's certain members of your family you have to love from afar.
She preaching to the choir. Like I know.
Cause woo.
Yeah, and then some people, and you may not see people for like years, and 15 years may pass, and then I can talk to you and say hi and keep it moving. You know the last year, so we just had like a family reunion. I ain't seen you in a minute, and it's cool. We can talk.
But some you, and then you know what's weird about a family reunion is you always have the ones you really don't like that show up.
Well, that's why they show up. Because they know you really don't like them, that they really not liked. But it's like, on this day, damn it, you're going to have to like me. That's what they say. On this day, you're going to have to like mine.
No, I don't. Depending on where we at, there's a whole lot of places I ain't got to come near you.
So that's what I said. And you already have made up in your mind, but it's family reunion time, and so-and-so going to be there, and you're like, okay, let me get my mind right, so I don't want to say this.
You get your mind right, and you plan your escape routes. So when they come in this way, I'm going to go back this way. So when they come in A range, I'm going to go back B range. If I don't have to deal with you, if you got family and you in a big old park, it is 5,000 other spots I can be in.
But don't you feel, when you feel guilty, he's like, okay, this is a family event, and I'm not going to show my butt today. So we're going to be nice and try to get along. No. That's what you want to say.
I am being nice. I'm not saying nothing to you.
You can say hi. You should be able to say hello and even have a conversation for a couple of minutes.
No.
And then keep it moving. No. I've been in the world. I know that there are some people you just cannot talk to because that conversation gonna go left real quick.
Therefore, if I know that, I'm going to spare myself and say no. I'm just gonna keep walking. And if I happen to walk past you and you say hi, how you doing? Peace out. That's the extent of it. Anything past that, no.
All right. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the foundation, having a strong foundation.
Oh, my area of expertise.
In a relationship. So come back and join us then. We're going to talk.